Never really gets easier. You just get stronger. Hey there, how's it going, you guys? Thanks for joining me for another episode of Bitcoin and Coffee. I'll be your host, Eugene Forrest. So, what are we looking at tonight with these crazy cryptocurrency markets? A little bit of sideways action. Bitcoin's still hanging out at 9,200. Can you be disappointed? I mean, we're up 23%. I mean, what? We're not over $10,000 because you got to sell Bitcoin today. I'm fine with it, right? This is a great spot. Let us take a breath. Let's move sideways for a little bit. I know that we're hitting some support lines. I know that there's the possible, what are we going to do here in the future? Are we going to slide back down? Doesn't look like we're going to hit that $16,000. I guess the time traveler was not correct for October, unless tomorrow morning I wake up and something crazy happens, which you never know with crypto. And you know, it's here holding down the fort, keeping the faith, hoping for that $1 million Bitcoin. My co-host, Sammy.
Good evening, everyone.
So how are you tonight, Samantha?
I'm pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Did you enjoy your surprise day off today?
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah,
right?
We had breakfast at a place, like, with a waitress. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I took you out to eat. Surprising, right?
I was pleasantly surprised.
So, I mean, how are you feeling about this $9,200 Bitcoin price? I mean, we were at 7.4, right? We shot all the way up to 10.4. We've slidden back down to 9.2. Where are we going to go from here is anybody's guess or game, right? If you knew the future price of Bitcoin, you could be a billionaire. So,
I mean, it doesn't bother me. It just, but our perspective is different. So, I feel why people get all like edgy and paranoid when it, doesn't do what you want. But I don't know. Maybe it was.
But really, what are they doing?
It really takes a while to get to 20,000 again. I don't hope it's like.
But really, what are they doing? I mean, they're looking because, I mean, are they selling? I mean, are they ready? Are they like saying, oh, it needs to hit $11,000 because then I'm going to sell my Bitcoin. That is my sellout price.
Yeah.
Or
right, yeah.
They just want the numbers on the screen to say something bigger for their portfolio.
Yes, they want to have more money
in their portfolio.
If they so choose.
Yes.
It's
like
a good
possibility.
Nature, I guess. I mean, I understand it. It is like, dude, I don't want $1 when I can have $6. Like, that don't even make sense. So,
and we ranted out here enough. Have we conversated? Have we talked about Bitcoin? Do we got a few people here that want to discuss Bitcoin with us, which is how we spread awareness, right? Because the more we talk about Bitcoin, especially the fundamentals of Bitcoin, the real reason that we're out here in Bitcoin is to revolutionize the financial markets, right? It's not to get a Lambo or a Tesla, right? It is to change the fact that the dollar bill is not working, right? It's being used against a lot of people. We had talked about yesterday, the rich don't have to follow the same rules that everybody else do. They have enough money to buy their ways around the rules. The rules only apply to the people who are so poor they can't afford to buy their way out.
Skirt the rules and loophole and have other people figure that out.
That is true.
Can you imagine like just having some dude or some chick that you just call up and you're like, yeah, so I want to buy that. No, you just figure it out.
Make that happen. Whatever it takes.
Let me know. And then go about your day. And you're still making money. Like, it is still happening. Oh, I cannot even fathom. Okay, so Zach Mandera is here. He says hi. BTC Moon Guy.
BTC Moon Guy, nice. I'm glad you made it to the beginning of the episode this time.
He made it. Yes.
All right.
He said, rock on Bitcoiners. Did you see that Tony Hawk is speaking at a Bitcoin conference? Awesome stuff. Still coming daily.
Ooh.
Tony Hawk. Wait, is it the skateboarder man?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah, the one they made the video games.
Yes, and like I think he was.
Yes, from our generation.
Yes, he's our age. That's what I was just thinking. Wait, no, because he was like the shit in high school. I remember. But he was also in high school. Like, I remember that it was all the same. Oh, okay.
Yes, I mean, good publicity, anybody that'll get up and stand behind Bitcoin and start saying the name of it, anything that'll associate it, right, in society with it not necessarily being deemed this dark web, dirty Ponzi money, right, is always a big plus in my book. Because, you know, we may talk day in and day out about the semantics and the news and the regulation that's occurring in the space, but really, the only thing that's important is adoption.
I mean, that's how we're going to beat the system. We're going to all stop playing.
We have another game to play.
Dude, yeah,
it's
we're going to take our marbles,
Bitcoin.
our whatnots, our taker toys over here in this corner. And you guys can go yourselves. Yes. Alrighty, so Zaza's here. Brian,
Buddy, I'm glad that you can make it.
Bitcoin master.
What?
Yep, he says, hey, people.
All
then
right.
Live.
Nice. I'm glad that you can make it, my friend. I really appreciate it if you guys hit the thumbs up. Right? There's a bunch of good people here already. Maybe it'll help push that notification just a little bit harder. And we'll get some more great people here, because that's really when we're spreading the awareness, is when we have all of us having that roundtable discussion. That's why we have Samantha over here in the chat. She is bringing your voice to life on air.
Oh, Andy Anderson here. He says hi.
Nice.
Gang. Bitcoin Hunter says truth. And everybody's saying hi to everybody else. Hi, everybody. We love you. Okay.
All right. So we got a little bit of news to be able to talk about tonight. Yes. The first one, this is good, right? We have $1 billion in transaction fees has been collected off Bitcoin. The value in the block space, right? The 1 megabyte block that is produced every 10 minutes. What is the value of that space? Right? Like, what is the value on a flash drive? What is the value on your computer's hard drive? What is the value on this 100% secured, 100% decentralized, maybe not quite the fastest, but guaranteed 10 years running, right? People are throwing in the Bank of America thing there.
Oh, dear God, no.
But, I mean, as we're looking at this, we're seeing, what do we got here? We have 204,808.3479 BTC have been spent in mining fees since 2009.
Okay.
Right, when all of this started.
Mm-hmm.
And if you actually went by today's Bitcoin price, like, you know, they were saving it all up. They were hodling. They were hodlers of last resort.
Dude, like,
we'd be looking at $1.86 billion. It's almost double.
Omega hodler or something. I don't even know. Yeah. I am the one. Never once did I think of buying a pizza. Billions. Woo.
More and more people are starting to ask about Bitcoin. More and more people around the world are starting to wake up to the fact that they don't want to be forced into. It does seem like there is this movement of a generation that's not wanting to be forced into the same exact lives that their parents are lived. Like they watch their parents spend their entire lives working these 9-to-5 jobs to pay for the mortgage, to pay for the car, to pay for, and they don't want to do this.
No, these people are trying to start their own businesses, do their own like websites, do designs, do other things to make their money because they realized it sucked watching their families.
And with the modern technology and how, you know, cars and planes and automobiles and everything have come, I know you always look at me funny every time I say that, Samantha.
You're so close to trains, planes, and automobiles.
I know, right? But so the world is a lot smaller place than what it used to be. You know, I remember when me and you were young that we didn't have GPS. You know, we had to stop at gas stations and ask directions when we got lost.
Oh,
I remember looking at the sun.
You remember the phone call where you'd call back and be like, okay, I'm at the store. Do I turn right or left? Which one? No. Okay. And then it's a left on the, okay. So 3 rights and a left because you're not getting back on a phone to be able to talk to that person again.
I remember having things written down on paper, like directions. So it's just, now the world feels so much smaller. I don't question. I'll just go anywhere. Like when we went to Arkansas, we just had the GPS and went.
Yep.
I followed it regardless. I mean, I went through 6 states.
I could have said, like, drive off cliff, and it would have been, like, pretty. There was some zoning out where it was like, are you listening to this lady say, take a left? Take a left. You got to love it. and the rerouting. But I mean, yes, I can't even a freaking United States map or a Florida map or a state map that you're like trying.
Then, I mean, disposable income. Once you have a little bit of disposable income and you plan, right? Flights really aren't that expensive.
No,
We'll take a flight up north to go see our family. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, they make a lot of that are like commute-ish now, where it's all like 100, 110, 89, depending on where you're going and what you want.
so when the world becomes a smaller place and you have this generation that doesn't want to be locked down, what do you see? You see protesting, right? We see protesting in France. We see protesting in Hong Kong. We see them protesting in Libya, overthrowing the prime minister. They don't want these shackles. They don't want the debt of their parents, right? All right, what do we got going on in the chat? You guys got some opinions. What are you guys thinking about all of this stuff? I do have a little bit more about an RMC mining company that's saying that they want to get out there. They got a few backers and they want to take over 20% of all mining.
So Brian says, can't seem to catch you live too much. I was just going to go to sleep and saw your live, so here I am.
All right.
I know,
I'm glad that you could join us.
It's really, I love you. It's the UK Bitcoin Master. Every time I don't say the entire name, you always think he's another person. I love you.
You got to say UK because that's how I'm remembering him.
Okay, so UK Master.
UK Master. All right. Yes, I know the time difference.
I know because last time when we were on really late, it was like the 8 or 9 o'clock, and he was like, "Oh, it's like midnight." It's like what?
I don't know. Unfortunately, the 7:15 time slot has been working good, but with the time change back on Sunday, there'll actually be light out here, and we'll have a little bit longer before it gets dark again. Maybe into December.
I mean, I don't know. Every year I swear, either we're getting older or it just seems like it's getting less and less light. I don't know which one.
Oh no, I hurt my back today. I put I bought a new generator and it was actually pretty big. And I had to move it and man, that thing was heavy. I twisted my back trying to lift it up and turn.
Vengeance here. He says, no doubt.
Vengeance, buddy, I'm glad that you could make it, my friend.
He saw my dad kicked out of the family. Didn't exactly want to repeat that. I mean, that is the whole, I don't know, you see your families, your inner circles strives as children and, adolescents, and you don't want to do the same thing. I mean, my entire family is in the military. I never, ever would have thought to be in the military because I was like, no, dude, like, no. So, I mean, there are things where it is like, I mean, I think it's past just one generation realizing, I mean, no one wants to be enslaved. And that is kind of what we're getting down to, is that it doesn't matter what currency you're talking about. You are pretty much enslaved to it and you don't get a choice.
I mean, it is about this like bohemian lifestyle that they're striving for, where it is, all I really need is air and water, and they're both free right now. So like, what are you going to make me do? They're living in large groups, right? So that they can afford and have the extra income. They're passing on going to college, where that was our hook. Even though we were slightly older, they said you're not making any money because you didn't go to college. It's like, oh man, all right, you've told me a million times, time to go to college. All right, fine, sign me up, I'll go back to school.
That makes sense. I'll make payments on my education. That's a great idea.
So
no, now they're like tiny housing it and like weird stuff where it's like, really? So there's like an entire population that lives in tree houses. Yeah, and that's a real thing. Oh, and they have cool jobs and don't have to work. Really?
I don't know. It's inventive to be able to find the loopholes where it's like we thought that we were trapped, and they're like, no, you're not trapped. It's just that you have to do some extreme measures. But I mean, power to them if they can change the system. I mean, isn't that all of our mission here, is to change the human condition for the better?
I know. I mean, okay. So James Benhart is here. He says,
buddy,
what are you dressing up as? Big Bitcoin ATM machine. Hmm? Hmm?
We're not doing anything tomorrow for Halloween,
I
unfortunately.
don't think so.
No. I don't have any work planned for tomorrow because I did have an appointment and they canceled. So
yeah, it was supposed to be the guy's birthday, or birthday present. So who knows? And I mean, yes, it's Halloween.
And you're off tomorrow.
Yep.
So
I'm scheduled. Yes, yeah.
we are open to the possibilities. There we
you
go. All right, so we got RMC. They're a Russian mining company out there. They're getting quite a bit of backing, about $85 million in a native cryptocurrency, according to CoinMarketCap. And this was like an aluminum company that, due to U.S. sanctions in 2018, got shut down pretty much.
Like banned.
So they're going to
nice.
use the facility and their access to cheap electricity to mine. And right now they're just they got a small section that's rented out that they're kind of mining.
Okay.
But with their partnerships, they're talking about putting a bunch of miners in there, becoming processing power type of place where I guess if you wanted to rent out processing power or
yes, for some reason, but okay, yeah, okay.
Yep,
I mean, there's
IT
things
stuff.
like that.
Yep. They want to do it from this facility, and they're looking to get 20% of the Bitcoin mining.
Okay.
I mean, very enthusiastic. I mean, $85 million, I'm sure, is not going to keep them out of the running, right? That's quite a bit of money to get them a lot of miners. We see that there's a lot of new miners coming out there, so they should be getting the latest of technologies in order to last for a while.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking over there.
Oh, no, you're good.
Okay.
Sorry. They're not even a good reason. Sorry, everyone. I Sammied out.
So what do you think? Another company getting into the game, big partnerships forming, cryptocurrencies being spent.
Yeah.
I just hear more decentralization, more value to the network. I mean, we know that the price of Bitcoin shrinks, right? And that cuts the excess when the network has too much mining happening, right? We've seen this before, and mining is starting to build up again. But we do have the halvening coming. So when we do start talking about the value of a Bitcoin,
it's about to switch it up.
Yeah.
So,
and I mean, we just watched a 40-something% jump, and we're on the other side, possibly complaining a little because we're not over $10,000, and we're looking at $85 million is being spent to be able to try to think that they're going to get 20% of the mining. You know how many other people are out there secretively going at this stuff as well?
No, yeah.
It's just, when you know that the future needs to be taken out of the political hands of any government and put into an autonomous system that was created to treat everyone equal, you realize that Bitcoin is the answer, unless you're going to show me the downtime, right?
I know, it seems like a no-brainer. It's like, okay, show me the cons here.
And talking about second-tier solutions, right? We got segregated witness. Okay, Lightning Node isn't making everyone happy or whatever at this exact moment. Put the need to it. Put more people. Put awareness out there. Then let's see what happens when we can start bringing some greater minds into this, some more innovation, some more funding,
some bigger names,
right?
some bigger platforms.
We do this. We do this all the time, right? For free. Could you imagine if there was some company out there paying millions of dollars to run ads on TVs and games and, like, you know what I mean? All that stuff, pushing apps on your phone.
Oh, yeah. I know, right? Could you? No, I can't imagine. But what? Yes. Oh, yeah, I'm sure. It wouldn't matter how crappy
know about it, like as many notifications as you see telling you about, like, that this Domino's pizza is on sale this week and you can get 2 hot toppings, blah blah blah, delivered, and a 2-liter of soda for $19.99, right? I mean, let that be saying that Bitcoin could be the future. The entire perspective would change.
I know, have somebody really actually push it out there to people.
You know, one of my big stressors is that perspective is everything. You know, your world is created through your eyes.
Yeah, I mean, yes. I know, I couldn't imagine like a gigantic billboard. And I mean, because you see them here and there, you see like, I don't know, urban-ish things where there are Bitcoin advertisings. You know what I mean? Like graffiti-ish things or billboards, like, but it's not to the mass scale of
you mean it's not that subliminal brainwashing that you receive from standard commercialization? Oh,
yes,
okay.
right after your Happy Meal commercial, you know, it's oh, why aren't you doing Bitcoin? Here are a few suggestions and an outline and a time frame. And here's a nice little thing of a chart for a second, so you really feel it. Yes. Oh, I know.
So what do we got in the chat? Anybody saying anything at all this evening?
All right. So Vengeance says van life is getting pretty big these days as well. I did see when we were in Arkansas and we were doing the whole Wakan camping, there was probably a good 20 to 50 vans, like gigantic Chevy van, converted vans, something vans, and they did not look like they just got these vans for that event. Like it did look more, I don't know. Like I mean, they were.
If I had the money, Mercedes makes some really big vans nice that are kind of like an RV. Like I think they're supposed to be beyond my.
Oh, dude.
Maybe what I'll sell a Bitcoin for in the future, the first one.
As you're saying Mercedes. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we're going to want to travel in style as we go see this world.
Right. All right. So, Paul Reload is here. He says, good evening. James.
Buddy, I'm glad that you can make it, my friend. I always appreciate it when you come out here, Paul. Please hit the like button for us too, my friend.
James Benhart says saw a good Bitcoin analysis overlaid 2017 price run with today's chart. May make the 16K to week or less if it follows through. And Zaza says, fingers crossed.
That would be funny to see it happen slightly after the 31st, you know, because of how it does say October. Watch it, like if we get 16K in the first week of November, it was like, okay, maybe you're not from the future, but you got a really good price predictor.
Are you dyslexic? You know,
I don't know. I think of when I think of the Bitcoin price, to me, it is one of these enigmas like pi. Right. And it's like when you think of pi, it's like pi will never be solved. Nobody can solve pi. Pi goes on forever. Okay, well, the Bitcoin price is just this mysterious thing that is going to be, and it exists in this world. But you know what? At some point in time, there will be more. Right.
Yes. I mean, there will be. Yes. I get what you're saying. It's like the scrolling crap of the, 1011s and whatnot,
You're watching The Matrix too much.
What if we watched something for like literally a second that said like the first Matrix is like 20 or 30 years old, and it was like, oh my dear God, like wow. I think it was 20 because I was just like, oh my God, I definitely was not a little kid when that came out.
Oh, we did have an idea for our Halloween outfit. Remember, we were talking about as it going as you were going to be Dr. Girlfriend and I was going to be the Monarch.
Yep. Yep. All right, so UK Master.
Okay, buddy.
Is going to sleep.
All right, my friend. You have a good evening. Sleep well. Tell your wife that we said hello.
Go on another cruise for us, man. All right, so James Redmart says Russia stated they wanted to mine 20% of the remaining coins. So are they going to fight? No.
Everybody's trying to mine up the last of the Bitcoin because it is the realization that there's only 3 million left out there and it's getting a lot harder to get them, right? Because what are we looking at? The next two halvenings are the big crunch for the last of any of the real remaining Bitcoin. Because after that, we're looking at such a small trickle coming out that mining the fees for the block space are going to have to be quite a bit. Or the price of Bitcoin will have to be quite a bit because the Satoshi price, blah, 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 so that they can get paid. But it is not going to be the block reward is enough. I mean, definitely not at these kinds of prices that we're looking at now. Bitcoin has always been a supply and a demand to help make the early initial investors realize that this is all trivial. So, I mean, we are early days. We are 1.5%. We are looking at our first $1 billion in transaction fees. How many billions of dollars are spent in bank transaction fees per day?
Right? Yeah.
Right. So, as we try to grow a better world, let's just stay strong to Bitcoin. I mean, it hasn't let me down yet as long as I keep my perspective real, like, not too wild.
Yeah, a conservative,
A conservative. There we
view
go.
on, Pension says, didn't the future guy predict 16K this month? Well,
That's what I
I'm
was talking
convinced.
about.
Yeah. I mean, check yes for vention. God, I mean, I know we want to hear. I want to believe in fortune tellers, okay, people? I want to believe that lifeline and that love line and, those tarot cards are going to...
Oh, wait, you mean that the barrier between life and death is permeable and that for some reason something has, like, passed through?
I'd be so cool with other, like, dimensional play. It's like, cool, future dude. Maybe you're just on... Maybe that's it. Maybe he's not future dude. Maybe he's dimension dude, and he's just off just a little because he tweaked it wrong. I'm just saying, you never know. All right, so John from Malibu is here.
I mean, how good can the internet connection be from the future?
Right? What kind of Wi-Fi span is that? I mean, what satellite are you using? He says, greetings from Malibu.
I hope you're safe over there, right? The wildfires are starting to get pretty bad again.
Every year. I don't know.
So stay safe, my friend. Of course, your life is more important than everything and any material possession.
James Benhart said, scary how much the two charts look alike. I know. See, this is why I do not participate in technical analysis in any way. I do not. I just don't. Because I believe I am one of those people that I believe that you can convince yourself that you can see almost anything if you really want to, or you are looking good enough. I
can go get the bag of chicken bones and runes, and we can throw them on the table, and I'll predict your future,
that's
Sammy.
Why it's like I'm not doing it. I'm not going with what you're saying because this little Spike Bark Simpson had something, this and a hook and laddery something, did a something, and it flipped around that we're going to be this.
I don't know. To me, it always comes down to the fact that all of this is human nature, right? This is all based on human psychological stuff, right? We're talking about people giving up this dollar bill, which is worthless. You can't eat it. You can't do nothing with it. It's a piece of garbage, right?
But people have a very emotion. Like is a very... You try to take somebody's money and they freak out.
Okay. But we're just trying to get them to switch to this for something that's digital. All right. Right now, people are having trouble understanding it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The more that this is around in existence, the more this happens, the more that the money doesn't work for them, the more likely people are going to start wanting to switch over to this. We see this already, especially first thing you hear about when a country's having problems is that they try to go to Bitcoin. It's not really working for them quite yet, but in time, this will happen.
I mean, when they're saying that we're going to do a bank run because this is the only way. No, like, yes. You just switch everything on over. Better than a bank run. You want to figure it out? Like, let them figure it out when they don't have anything because you took your business elsewhere. I mean, it seems like it is so fundamentally common sense, and yet it is so hard. And I guess, I don't know. That is why we strive for adoption, is because I really do think that is the wall that we are smacking our heads against at all times, is that more people need to know. Come here and smack your head with me. Like, why do you not get this? Like, what are you? Come on. Get your toddler now over here. We need to
it's that you get distracted in life, right? It is hard to focus on the big picture when you got, oh, my blood sugar is low because I drink a lot of soda and all of a sudden I haven't had a soda, or oh, I have this nicotine addiction, so I got to smoke a cigarette every hour or whatever, and I haven't had one in 2 hours, or you know what I mean? My kids are calling,
fast food,
right?
I mean, everything.
Then my kids are calling and all this other stuff. Oh, they want to come home from school. They're not feeling well. Oh, my tire was making a funny noise this morning. Oh, my boss isn't in a great mood because he's fighting with his wife. And all of these things are going through your mind. And all this little stuff keeps you from realizing what the big picture is. Because ultimately, at the very end of the day, right, you don't get to go to the big creator and say, I was gonna, but money. Right? Well, at the end of the day, money isn't anything. It doesn't mean anything. It's just something that we're using as a shield to slow us down and block us from achieving what we can ultimately achieve.
It is the pellet. I mean, it is literally the treat pellet. That is what we get. And that's not, and I mean, we've just made a society of trading the treat pellets with each other for other things besides treat pellets. No.
All right. Well, we've been ranting out here quite a bit already. We should start winding down this episode. If there's anything you want to talk about, please go ahead, put it in the comments. Samantha will bring your voice to life out here on air. We'll answer your questions. Besides that, I have a couple links down below to some social medias that I'm posting to if you want to keep up to date with what's happening on the channel. Other than that, there's also links to email in case you want to ask for any help or you got any questions. They're free service. I don't charge any 0.1 Bitcoin or 0.01 Bitcoin to get answers. I love to help out in the space. I love to help figure out problems, right? Definitely these, I can't get my crypto out. I'd like to make get this fork, right? These dividends.
Whatever you're going with, we could either help, assist, or try to get somebody
I
better.
noticed that for some reason that dark web video that we made about how to use the Bitcoin mixer from the Tor browser.
Yes. Yes.
Is still climbing in views. Out of all the videos that we've done, like, I mean, in the last year, 2 years, probably getting up near 350, 400.
Oh, that's crazy about
And
for us. Yes.
18 views as of yesterday, like in the last 24 hours.
Right.
So people are out there looking into Bitcoin. People are wanting to break the KYC, right? People are wanting to have some of this stuff tucked away because they see that there is a change, that the future is not going to be what it's always been.
And maybe necessarily you don't want other people to know. So, I mean, how else? Yes. All right. So, John from Malibu says, my treasures and the codes are packed. Awesome. Because it was last year that his house was very close to the fire. So, yes,
I remember that. And I had also, I did think about you because the other day Facebook was pushing notifications about the fire. And I was like, oh, I wonder how Malibu, if they're bothering him this year or if the fires are somewhere else.
No, he did move though. Crap. Was it? He's going to say it here. But it's another nice place in California. But yes, he moved. All right. So, Crypto Kerbert says, boom, share it on Twitter. Yo.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it, my friend. It does mean a lot when you guys do stuff to help out this channel because we do this out of the kindness of our heart because we want to see Bitcoin help revolutionize the future. All it takes is a little bit from all of us, right? And then
we got it. We can do it.
Make Bitcoin go viral.
Crypto magician says adoption is the only option. I mean,
everything else is trivial in light of adoption because, I mean, price and all of these different things and regulation, they all move to the wayside if we get adoption because then price doesn't mean anything because we will be trading in Bitcoin, right? Regulation doesn't mean anything if we all have Bitcoin and say, you know what, we don't care about your regulation. We can still conduct peer-to-peer transactions.
And I don't know how dark it is actually going to look. I mean, we had it pushed the 30.
Should I step back? Does that...
No. I don't think it changes it. I don't know because it's always a little bit brighter when it's on. It's when we go back to watch the video that it's darker. So it's like, I don't know. I hope you guys are okay with
this is the last dark one. Hopefully with the time change, we'll be back to the daylight.
I'm hoping.
All right.
We did push it a little because we were going to do short because we did your 15, the quartersness, but...
I told you that I love it. It's one of these awkward time slots and I think it makes people want to watch.
It is awkward.
Because you go at 7 o'clock and you're like, oh, there's nothing good on. And then by 7:15, you're like, oh, Bitcoin and coffee. Yeah, let's go see what's going on because you already checked everything else out and you determined that it was crap.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know why it fundamentally bothers me, but it's like, oh my dude, no 45s, no 15s. What do you want to do? 12?
Because ultimately we are two different people, Samantha. All right. Anything else over there in the chat, or should we just go ahead and end this episode on that note?
Okay. James Bedhart said, didn't know K.com. New software runs on the blockchain. Fact, new app will be making buying Starbucks easy. Wait till other big players get into that app. Back owned. Bye.
I mean, you can always just go follow Chino Crypto, right? He has
Chico.
all of the
Chico
conspiracy theories running rampant over
Oh,
there
man, that
about
man's tinfoil
Tether
hat is
and
big.
Binance and Bitfinex. And I mean, I guess it's kind of like one of those things like politics. You know, you start to feel
Oh,
like,
yeah.
what can I do about it? And it is like right now, my best bet and what I can do about it is try to get more Bitcoin, hodl as much Bitcoin as possible. I will keep my eye to the news. And I mean, see what happens, right? Take advantage of the manipulation best I can.
Yeah. All right. Crypto Logician says, I bet you two were voted the cutest crypto couple in high school. No, we were actually completely opposite kinds of people at high school. And sadly, far from high school now. They're so old. But yeah, no, I was like band geeky. Well, technically orchestra. And you were just, yeah, you.
All right, Samantha. Is that it?
Yes, we're good.
All right, you guys. I appreciate you coming out here this evening and hanging out with us while we spread awareness about Bitcoin. Every time we get out here, it's great, right? You guys are the best part of our evening. You guys make all of this fantastic and so totally worth it. We're going to keep coming out here and bringing you guys episodes. Doing your little part helps a little bit by hitting that thumbs up, sharing this video out. So if you guys haven't already, please go ahead, do that. And I will see you possibly tomorrow.
Yeah, why not?
All right. If we don't find anything good to do, then we'll hang out with you guys this Halloween because I do like to hang out with my friends.
Yes.
All right, you guys. Have a great evening. Take care of yourselves. Don't eat too much candy. And remember to keep your BTC safe. Later.
Bye, guys.